Have you ever felt like her pain slowly became your prison? Like her struggles, her wounds, her heavy past turned into chains wrapped around your freedom? At first you thought love meant saving her. You thought compassion meant carrying her weight. But somewhere along the way you stopped living your own life, and you started living inside her storms. Let me ask you, why do so many men believe love means giving until nothing is left? Why do men chase, prove, and bleed for someone who only respects the man who doesn't beg? Why do we think the more we give, the more we're loved, when in reality, the more we give, the more invisible we become? Strange, isn't it? You become the hero, and somehow you lose the girl. You show all your aura, all your effort, all your care, and somehow she feels less attraction, not more. Here's the truth most men don't want to face. When her trauma becomes your cage, you lose not only her respect, but also your own soul, because you stopped leading your own life. You stopped being scarce. You stopped living with purpose. So what's the way out? How do you show compassion without losing power? How do you give love without becoming weak? How do you stay calm, detached, scarce, and yet magnetic in her eyes? That's what this video is about. Not games, not fake tricks, but stoic wisdom. Living with limits, living with purpose. Living with real confidence that makes her want to follow you, not cage you. By the end of this video, you will see why your peace, your freedom, your aura are the very things that create love, desire, and respect. Not chasing, not proving, not losing yourself. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to lose yourself when you start making her pain your mission? At first it feels noble, it feels right. You tell yourself, if I give her everything, she'll heal. If I sacrifice, she'll see my worth. But then something strange happens. The more you try to fix, the more broken you become. Let me ask you, why do men think love means carrying all of her storms? Why do men turn into counselors instead of partners? Why do we take on the role of savior only to wake up one day and realize we've stopped saving ourselves? Here's the hidden trap. When you give her your time, your energy, your constant presence without limits, you become her emotional sponge. And a sponge doesn't attract, it gets squeezed, it gets drained. Think about it. When was the last time you said no to her? When was the last time you let her face her own struggles instead of rushing in to rescue? When was the last time you protected your peace instead of pouring it all into her chaos? You see, here's the brutal reality most men ignore. Every time you overextend, every time you bend without boundaries, every time you put her trauma above your own life, you lose the very thing that makes you attractive. Because attraction doesn't come from being her emotional babysitter. Attraction comes from being a man rooted in his own life, from being calm, steady, grounded, from living with limits. Now pause for a second. Why do women test men with their emotions in the first place? Why do they push, pull, cry, rage, demand, sometimes even unconsciously? It's not always because they want to trap you. It's often because they're searching for a man who won't collapse under pressure. So ask yourself this: if you always give in, if you always step into her fire, if you always make her trauma your cage, what do you prove? That you're kind? Sure, but also that you have no walls, no backbone, no detachment. And a man with no backbone, he becomes predictable, replaceable, forgettable. This is why so many men feel confused. They think, but I did everything for her. I gave my all. Why didn't she stay? The answer is simple. You gave her your aura instead of protecting it. You gave her your presence instead of making her earn it. You gave her your energy instead of directing it into your own purpose. Compassion is powerful, but compassion without limits, it's poison. And once it becomes poison, you're no longer her desire, you're her cage. So here's the question every man must face. Are you willing to let her carry her own storms while you carry your purpose? Or will you keep carrying both until you break? Here's a strange truth most men never realize. Sometimes the most attractive thing you can do is not be there. Wait, what? How can absence create closeness? How can distance create desire? How can stepping away make her lean forward? It sounds backward, doesn't it? We're taught the opposite. We're told, be available, always show up, always answer, always give. But what happens when you're always there? What happens when she knows exactly when you'll call, when you'll text, when you'll show up? The answer is simple. She stops wondering, she stops reaching, she stops chasing. And let me ask you, what's more powerful? A man who's everywhere, easy to access, predictable, or a man whose time feels rare, whose presence feels earned, whose life feels bigger than just her? Think about this. Scarcity is the root of value. Gold is valuable because it's rare. Diamonds are desired because they're not found on every street corner. So why do men forget this when it comes to their own presence? When you're too available, you become like water from the tap. She knows it's there anytime she turns the handle. But when your presence is tied to purpose, when your absence means you're out there building, creating, living, you stop being tap water, you become fire, and fire draws people in. Now here's the problem. Most men fear absence. They think, if I step away, she'll forget me. If I don't answer, she'll lose interest. If I create space, she'll find someone else. But let me challenge that. If her connection with you is so weak that a little space makes her forget, then was she ever truly drawn to you? Or was she only enjoying the convenience of you being always available? Absence doesn't kill attraction. Weakness does. Absence doesn't push her away. Clinginess does. Absence doesn't break connection. A lack of purpose does. And here's where most men miss the point. Absence is not about playing games. It's not about punishing her. It's not about creating distance just to make her chase. That's manipulation, and it always backfires. True absence is born from a man who has something more important to tend to, his growth, his mission, his life. And here's the paradox. The very thing you fear, her drifting away because you're not constantly available, becomes the very thing that makes her want you more, because she starts to feel it. The weight of your aura, the value of your time, the significance of your presence. So ask yourself this, are you giving her constant access because you fear losing her, or are you confident enough to let her feel your absence, knowing it makes your presence more powerful? Why is it that the man who panics, who argues, who loses his cool, always loses the woman too? Why is it that the man who stays calm, even in chaos, somehow becomes more attractive, more respected, more powerful? Have you noticed this? Think back. Maybe you've seen a guy crumble when a woman tested him. He begged, he explained, he got loud, he tried to prove himself. And what happened? She lost respect instantly. Now think of the opposite. The man who stayed composed, the one who didn't need to raise his voice, the one who just looked her in the eye, steady, grounded, unshaken. Who did she lean toward? The calm man, every time. So here's the question. Why does calmness feel like strength? And why does losing your control feel like weakness? Most men today live like emotional slaves. They snap when she pulls away. They panic when she goes cold. They overreact when she says something sharp. They think their emotions are something to throw around instead of something to master. But tell me this, how can a man lead if he can't even lead himself? And here's where the problem gets worse. Society tells men, be vulnerable, wear your emotions on your sleeve, show everything you feel. Sounds nice in theory, but what actually happens when a man spills every reaction, every insecurity, every fear? He stops being a rock, he becomes a puddle. Do women respect puddles? Or do they look for the rock that can withstand storms? See, calmness isn't about bottling up. It isn't about pretending you don't feel. It's about owning what you feel, without being owned by it. Big difference. Stoic men knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And that's the secret right there. Because the truth is, chaos will come. She will test you. Life will test you, people will trigger you. You can't control that, but you can control you, and that self-mastery is rare, scarce, valuable. Think about it. How does a woman feel standing beside a man who erupts over every small thing? Unsafe, drained, trapped. But how does she feel beside a man who stays unshaken, no matter the storm? Secure, drawn in, respectful. That's the difference between attraction that dies and attraction that grows. So let me ask you, are you letting your emotions leak all over the place? Do you find yourself overreacting, explaining, chasing, defending? Or are you the man who can feel anger without exploding, feel sadness without collapsing, feel jealousy without acting desperate? The man who controls himself controls the frame, and the man who controls the frame controls the outcome. Why does a man lose himself the moment he makes her his whole world? Why does attraction die the second she feels she's the only thing driving his heartbeat, his decisions, his focus? It's strange, isn't it? A man thinks he's proving love by giving up everything for her. He thinks he's showing devotion by making her his reason to wake up. But instead of pulling her closer, it pushes her away. Why? Because no woman wants to be your entire purpose. She wants to join a man who already has one. Look around. How many men today abandon their goals the moment they meet a woman? They skip the gym, drop their friends, put off their dreams. Every hour becomes about texting her, calling her, waiting for her. Is that love, or is that need? And here's the harsh truth. Neediness always kills attraction. Always. Think about it. If you center your whole identity on her, what happens when she pulls back? You panic, you collapse. You start chasing, pleading, proving. You become less of a man and more of a shadow following her around. Is that what she fell for? No. She was drawn to your spark, your energy, your focus. She saw a man with direction, and then you handed it all away. This is the problem. Men confuse attention with value. They think if I give her everything, she'll stay. But women don't respect men who give up their lives. They respect men who build lives worth being part of. So here's the real question. What's at the center of your world? Her or your mission? Because here's the reality. When you chase a mission, when you live with purpose, women notice. They feel it. Your energy changes. You're no longer asking for validation. You're radiating it. That's where confidence comes from. Not from words, not from money, but from knowing you're walking your path. And here's the paradox. When she sees you won't drop everything for her, she actually values you more. When she sees you're not available every second, she respects your time. When she sees you have a bigger vision, she wants to be part of it. But if she feels like your only dream is her, she loses the very respect you're trying to earn. So let me ask you directly, are you living for her, or are you living for something bigger? Are you hoping she gives your life meaning, or are you building a life so full of meaning that she wants to share it? Why is it that the moment you're always there, she stops seeing you? Why does constant availability, your good mornings, your quick replies, your endless presence make her feel less excitement, less curiosity, less attraction? And here's the real question. Why do men ignore this pattern, even when it slaps them in the face? Because nobody tells men the truth. Scarcity is what makes things valuable. Think about it. If gold was lying in every street corner, would anyone chase it? If diamonds were handed out like free candy, would they still sparkle with the same worth? No. It's their rarity that creates their power. Their scarcity creates desire. Now let me ask you, why should attraction work any differently? If you're always around, always available, always saying yes, where's the mystery? Where's the tension? Where's the reason for her to miss you? This is the hidden trap. Men think that being ever present shows loyalty. They think if they never say no, they're proving their devotion. But what they don't realize is that constant presence makes them ordinary, predictable, easy to take for granted. And here's the problem, it's not even her fault, it's human nature. When something is always there, we stop valuing it. When something is rare, we lean in, we chase, we crave. So ask yourself, are you giving her space to feel your absence? Or are you flooding her with so much presence that she never feels the urge to reach for you? Here's the brutal truth. Desire lives in distance. It's born in the gap between moments. If every second is filled with your texts, your calls, your time, there's no room for her to wonder about you, no space for her to imagine, no reason for her to long for you. And this isn't about playing games. It's not about acting cold or pretending to be busy. It's about actually being busy, building your life, working on your mission, filling your days with purpose, so naturally you aren't available every moment. That's the paradox. When you stop making yourself constantly available, she feels more connected. When she realizes she doesn't get you every second, she values the moments she does get. Your time becomes rare, and rarity always increases value. So here's the challenge. Are you willing to stop flooding her with attention and instead let silence speak for you? Are you willing to let your absence do what constant presence can't make her crave your presence again? Because in the end, attraction isn't built by giving her everything. It's built by giving her something worth waiting for. Have you ever wondered why the calmest man in the room is often the one everyone pays attention to? Why is it that when tension rises, when emotions explode, when chaos fills the air, people don't look at the loudest person, they look at the one who doesn't flinch? Why is it that women especially are drawn to men who remain steady when everything else is shaking? And here's the bigger question, why do so many men fail at this, losing control of their emotions, snapping too quickly, or drowning in overthinking, not realizing they're throwing away their power every single time? Let's talk about it, because this is one of the biggest reasons men get overlooked, disrespected, or even pushed aside in relationships without ever realizing why. The problem starts here. Most men think emotions equal honesty. They think if I feel it, I should express it right away. They confuse emotional bursts with authenticity. But raw reactions don't show strength. They reveal weakness. When you blow up over small things, when you panic under pressure, when you argue to prove a point, you're showing that you can be controlled by her mood, controlled by her words, controlled by her words, controlled by your own impulses. And ask yourself this, if you're that easy to shake, how can she ever feel safe with you? How can she trust your presence when life throws storms her way? Here's the truth. Women don't crave a man who reacts to every mood swing. They crave a man who can stand steady while waves crash. They want the man who, even in silence, radiates strength because he's not at war with himself. Now think about this. How often do men destroy attraction by over-explaining, over-apologizing, or overreacting just to calm her down? How often do they believe that fixing every emotional flare-up is their role, and yet the more they react, the weaker they appear? Because here's the paradox. Control is not about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. And when you master that, everything changes. She tests you. You don't get triggered. She pulls away. You don't chase. She gets emotional. You don't mirror the chaos. You ground it. This doesn't mean you're cold. It means you're composed. It means your value isn't shaken by her reactions. It means your masculinity is rooted deep, so deep that nothing surface level can knock it out of place. And here's where it gets powerful. Emotional mastery doesn't just attract her, it earns her respect. She knows you're not just another man who bends to her moods. She knows you're the rare one who can stand firm. So the real question is, are you willing to stop letting your emotions drag you around like a dog on a leash? Are you willing to become the man who chooses when and how to respond, instead of always reacting? Because the moment you take back control of your emotions, you take back control of the frame. And once you control the frame, You control how you're seen, respected, and valued, and that, my brother, is how calmness turns into power. Have you ever noticed how a man with a clear direction seems untouchable? Think about it. Why do men who are deeply committed to something bigger than themselves feel magnetic, even if they aren't the richest, the tallest, or the most charming in the room? Why is it that women chase the man who is too busy chasing his purpose, while they often lose interest in the man who spends all his time chasing them? And here's the haunting question. What happens to a man who wakes up each day with no mission, no direction, no higher pursuit? Doesn't he become restless? Doesn't he become easy to distract, easy to sway, easy to consume by small things that don't matter? Now here's the hard truth. Without a clear purpose, a man is like a ship without a compass. He drifts, he wanders, he reacts to life instead of directing it, and in that drifting, he loses the very energy that makes him powerful. Ask yourself, how many men waste years of their lives pouring their energy into women, into distractions, into temporary highs, because they have nothing bigger pulling them forward? How many men lose themselves trying to please everyone else, forgetting that their mission is the foundation of their identity? And here's the biggest trap. When a man makes a woman his purpose, he secretly kills attraction. Why? Because now she feels the weight of carrying his life, his happiness, his drive. She never signed up to be his compass. She wanted to join a man already moving toward something. So the problem is not that men don't care enough. The problem is that they care about the wrong things first. They invest in people before they invest in their path. They seek validation before they seek vision, and in doing so they surrender the magnetic energy that comes only from living with direction. Let me ask you this. How much stronger would you feel if you woke up every morning with a mission that set your soul on fire? How much more grounded would you be if you weren't worried about every little text, every little reaction, every little shift in her mood, because you were too focused on building something bigger than both of you? Do you see the problem? Most men are slaves to the moment, instead of masters of their mission. They're ruled by boredom, by loneliness, by impatience, because they lack a larger game they're playing. But here's the secret. When a man lives with purpose, he doesn't have to try to attract. He becomes attractive by default. His life has weight, his presence has gravity, his actions inspire curiosity. His energy whispers, "I don't need you, but you might want to come along for the ride," and that changes everything. Because here's what women know instinctively. A man who lives for something bigger than her will never suffocate her. He'll never drain her with constant neediness. He'll never beg for approval. Instead, he pulls her into his world, into his journey, into his vision. And that right there is what makes her stay. So let's turn the question back on you. What is your mission? What are you building that outlives you? What are you chasing that fuels you, challenges you, and shapes you into the man you were meant to be? Because without a mission, you'll always feel lost. With one, you'll never need to chase, and that's the hidden truth. Women don't want to be your mission, but they deeply want to join a man who has one. Why is it that the more available you are, the less you're valued? Strange, isn't it? You think being there all the time shows loyalty. You think answering every call, every text, every request proves love. You think being endlessly accessible is what makes someone stay. But does it really? Or does it secretly kill the very attraction you're trying to protect? Think for a moment. When was the last time you deeply valued something you could have any time in unlimited amounts, without effort? Do you treasure the air you breathe, the way you treasure gold? Do you respect tap water, the way you respect rare wine? So why do men believe that being always there makes them priceless? Here's the hidden trap. When you erase your limits, when you offer yourself 24/7, when you give without pause, you teach others to take you for granted. You remove the mystery, you drain the tension, you become predictable, and predictability kills desire. Ask yourself this: what happens to the man who answers every text in seconds, drops every plan when she calls, bends his schedule to fit hers, and always says yes? At first it may look romantic, but soon it looks desperate. Soon she begins to wonder, if his world bends so easily for me, does he even have a world of his own? And here lies the problem. The man who is too available loses his edge. He loses the sense of scarcity that makes his presence feel like a privilege. He becomes not the mountain she climbs toward, but the soft cushion always waiting at the bottom. But wait, doesn't being less available risk pushing her away? Doesn't it make you look cold, detached, uncaring? That's the fear most men carry, and because of that fear, they swing to the extreme of over-giving, over-proving, over-chasing. Yet in doing so, they dig their own grave. The truth is, attraction isn't built on endless access, it's built on respect. And respect is built on boundaries. If your time means nothing to you, why should it mean something to her? If your energy is given away without measure, why would she guard it as valuable? Think carefully. Are you teaching her that your presence is rare, or are you teaching her that it's cheap? Are you showing her that you're a man with priorities, or are you showing her that she is your only priority? Are you living as if your life is full, rich, and worthy, or as if it only has meaning when she chooses to give you attention? See the problem? Most men confuse devotion with over-availability, but devotion without boundaries turns into suffocation, and suffocation kills both freedom and attraction. The solution isn't to withdraw out of spite. It isn't to play games. It's to live in such a way that your time actually has weight, that your life is full of pursuits, goals, and commitments, that your presence is something to be earned, not something given on demand. And here's the paradox. When you stop making yourself endlessly available, people value you more. They lean in, they wonder, they question, they respect, because now your yes actually means something. Now your presence feels like a gift instead of a given. So ask yourself, have you been teaching others to treasure you or to overlook you? Have you been showing that your life is scarce or that it's cheap? And most importantly, are you living like a man whose presence adds gravity, or like one whose absence would barely be noticed? Because in the end, scarcity doesn't push people away, it pulls them closer. The grand conclusion: freedom, attraction, and your life back. Do you feel it? That constant pull, the expectation, the pressure to always answer, always be available, always perform, always prove yourself. It's exhausting, isn't it? And the crazy part, it doesn't work. You give, you chase, you bend, and what do you get in return? Stress, confusion, heartbreak. Here's the truth you've been waiting for. The chains you feel aren't her fault. They're the result of how you've been taught to live in relationships, to give endlessly, to chase constantly, to bend your life around someone else's needs. That creates cages, and cages, no matter how golden, never attract. Now imagine this, a life where your time, your energy, your attention are yours first, where your presence isn't automatic, it's earned, respected, and valued, where your yes carries weight and your no carries authority. Can you feel the difference? That's not just freedom, that's power, that's peace, that's attraction. Ask yourself, what would it feel like if you could stay calm, even when tested? To not react to drama, not chase attention, not prove anything. To let your absence speak volumes, to let your life, purpose, and confidence do the talking for you. How would that change the way women respond? How would that change how you feel? Here's what we've uncovered through this journey. Being always available lowers your value. Scarcity increases it. Living for others' validation erodes your freedom. Self-approval restores it. Constantly giving without boundaries leads to heartbreak. Firm, respectful limits build respect and desire. Emotional reactivity destroys calmness and aura. Mastering your emotions projects strength that naturally attracts. Being a man with purpose, your own goals, ambitions, and life creates magnetic attraction. Women want to join a life already in motion, not be the center of a life that only exists for them. And here's the kicker: you now have the tools, the framework, the understanding to live detached but fully present, compassionate but with limits, loving but not lost, calm yet compelling. Every principle we've explored, absence, boundaries, scarcity, emotional mastery, self-worth, is a piece of the solution, and combined, they form a complete map. No tricks, no manipulation, no games, just clear, stoic wisdom applied to real life. So here's the final question. Are you ready to live in a way where your attention is earned, your presence is valued, and your life is yours first? Where attraction, respect, and freedom aren't chased, they come naturally because you've learned the rules most men ignore. Because if you take these lessons seriously, if you actually apply them, you will never again feel trapped by someone else's emotional world. You will be calm when tested. You will be magnetic without trying. You will experience the freedom and power that come when a man lives for himself first, and others are lucky enough to follow. This isn't theory. This isn't empty advice. This is the path. The solution has been given, and now it's yours to walk.